Hi, everybody. I'm Valerie. I am the co-owner of Approved Senior Network, and today the ladies are letting me talk. So we're going to talk all about Facebook, everything you didn't want to know about Facebook. But I promise you that if you use Facebook right, it will win referrals and leads. So let's go. Leadership team. Dawn is not with us today. She's got a bunch of stuff to do, so she's going to take a break on the techno nerd Facebook presentation. And you guys know Annette and Lisa. You guys want to introduce yourselves, or are we moving on?
I think I'm good with that. I'm Lisa.
Yeah.
I think most of you know me.
All right, cool. And if you hear a dog growling, it just is what it is. Tiny, he's a rescue and he's nervous and he likes to growl at everybody. Little housekeeping. If you could mute your lines, that'd be great. Unless you're talking, share your stories though, experiences and tips. If you have something you want to share, we will happily allow you to share it. We have no problem with that. Ask questions. There's a chat. I think Lisa's probably going to be looking at the chat. So if you want to put a question in there, I will certainly answer those. Make recommendations and tell us what you want to know. If there's something we haven't talked about, let us know. Annette, you want to do the giveaway? Or Lisa?
Sure. So at the end of the presentation, we have our fun leave behinds that Lisa's created. We have March, April, May, and we're going to be giving away a set of May leave behinds to somebody who's attended the meeting today. So if you're interested in receiving the May customized leave behinds, put yes in the chat. We will take everybody's name down and put your name in a little electronic hat, and then we will pick a winner. Just please be sure if you do win the leave behinds, we want to see you using them out in the field and send us pictures. So put yes in the chat.
Yes, it's always great to have us do the leave behinds. All you have to do is print them out and go for it. Always a nice time saver for sure. All right. Get us some yeses in that chat if you want to do it. Do we have any pictures of other people? We do, but we didn't put them in this presentation.
I don't think we put them in this one, but if you look into the forum, I've been posting a lot of the social work leave behinds. We've had some people do some really creative things. St. Patrick Day leave behinds in the forum. I just posted them recently.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yep. The pinch protection is my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to talk about Facebook as a community outreach engine. And I know over the years, and it depends on what age group you're in, as to whether or not you believe Facebook is a valuable resource for community outreach or not. A lot of folks I'm 55, so I would say a lot of folks that are in their 30s, maybe early 40s, probably don't see Facebook as a viable, especially, and 20-year-olds definitely do not see Facebook as viable. But I will tell you that Facebook's audience has gotten much older because everyone's moved to TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram. So Facebook is still about sharing pictures with family, and it's got a huge audience. So there's no shortage of people on Facebook. So don't ever count it out. It really is your demographic. LinkedIn and Facebook are the two places you should be. Instagram, I know we hear a lot about that. It's fine to dual post to Instagram, but I'll tell you, that is not the place where you're going to get leads. You're not going to get leads from Instagram. I do believe it's great to have a presence there. It's great to post there. That's all fine. But if you really wanted someone to reach out to you, whether it's for a job or looking for care, Facebook and LinkedIn are the two places you need to be. All right. The reality of how families search. So if somebody has an immediate problem, we all know that they're going to go to Google and they're going to Google something like, how do I know if my mom needs help at home? Or is my mom safe at home alone? Or how do I get my mom to bathe? Or my mom's forgetting which way to go when she comes to our house. There's people look for instant answers on Google. Facebook is not necessarily that kind of a search engine. In fact, I don't know if I would even consider it a search engine at all. Facebook is more about community outreach and talking to family members or talking to the people in their neighborhood. For instance, in my neighborhood, we have a Facebook group just for our neighborhood. I'm sure a lot of you do. And people go on there and, usually crab about everything, but it is a neighborhood sort of Facebook group, and people do reach out a lot and refer each other a ton. So even though I don't do this anymore, I don't do the actual like care management piece. I did do it for many years and wrote a couple of books on it. And so people in our neighborhood know that, and they send people to me all the time who have a parent who's in a nursing home who they want to bring home, and what should we do? And do you know which attorney we should call for estate planning? So I get a lot of those questions, even though I haven't done that in almost 20 years. And so Facebook is where friends and networks of communities talk to each other. And so this is the whole thing is people are going to Google, they're going to go on Facebook to reach out to their colleagues and their friends and their family, and they're going to look for validation. So in other words, if you've ever been on is it neighbor.com, neighborhood? That is a Facebook product. It annoys me to no end. So annoying, but it's a lot of people on there looking for someone to cut their grass, someone to paint their house, someone to help pet sit or take care of a family member or help them with whatever. So is it neighborhood? Am I saying that right? Is it neighborhood.com? Neighborhood. I don't know. It's an app.
Neighborhood.
I think
Yeah,
it's neighborhood, right?
Yeah. And just know that yeah, that's owned by Facebook. And yes, you can advertise on there, but it's a roundabout.
Next door, right? Next door.
next door. That's it.
Thank
Yeah.
you, France
Yes.
and Brian.
It was
Yeah.
top of my head.
Yes. Okay. Next door. Yeah. It is. If you read a bunch, it seems to me like it's a lot of old people crabbing about stuff, but you want to know where those people are, right? And people often ask us, should we advertise on Nextdoor? And my answer is that depends. I wouldn't just put up just an ad on Nextdoor. What I would do is form relationships with people on Nextdoor and maybe supplement that with an ad. But Nextdoor is all about getting referred to someone who can do something for you or who's got the best salon in town or whatever. So Meta does have a lot of good resources. It's really about your willingness to take some time. So let's talk about that. Where families ask questions. Does anyone know a good home care agency for my mom? She's 82 and needs some help around the house. Any recommendations appreciated? That is exactly what goes on Facebook, Nextdoor, whatever, those kinds of platforms. And I'm not so much on Instagram because Instagram is supposed to be a visual. It's just picture. It's supposed to be originally designed for pictures. It was an app designed for you to show off your imagery, your pictures, whether it's your pictures of yourself or if you're into photography or nature. It wasn't designed for this conversational style of getting to know each other. So why Facebook matters for home care? Of course, the decision makers are on Facebook, adult children ages 35 to 65, and actually our adult children are even 75 now. They're the primary decision makers for their 95-year-old parents, and they dominate Facebook usage across all demographics. They are on daily. They are looking for either in marketplace, they are in just conversations, they're in groups. And this is where trust is built. So here's the thing, and I'll talk about this more, I'm sure, that I see. If you own a home care agency and you have a Facebook business page, that, by the way, is set up correctly, not as a human being, but as a business Facebook page, please set up a correct Facebook page. We'll talk about that in a minute. If you have that done, going in as the owner, marketer, or as the page itself, and making helpful suggestions to people, whether it's in a group, in your feed, someone that's reaching out to their friends to ask a question, without trying to sell them something, just making a helpful suggestion is really what it's all about. The other thing I see is that Facebook business pages have been abandoned. So a lot of folks have one, but they don't post to it. And that's why Facebook is not working for you, because you're not consistent. You don't have up to date. If your last post was in 2021, then people don't even know if your business is open anymore. And what that looks like is they don't even care what they look like online. Are they really going to care about my mom? And I know that seems like a far reach, but if you look at a Facebook page where no one has posted or taken the time to do anything in 3 or 4 years, it does make you wonder what happened. What happened there? Did somebody get fired? Did they just not care about it anymore? What happened there? So please make sure your business pages are up to date. So here's the infrastructure: families, neighbors, church members, community, caregivers. All of these folks are on this platform. And that's why it's important for you to have a presence that's not only updated, but it is vocal and helpful, not trying to sell them anything, just trying to make sure your logo is in front of them with a helpful answer anytime you can do that. All right. LinkedIn versus Facebook. I've been teaching this for 20 years. I'm not sure if people really understand it. LinkedIn is all about you professionally. So it's about you as the marketer of ABC Home Care. It's about you as the owner of ABC Home Care. It is your professional representation of not only yourself, but also the business that you're currently working for. So if you're the owner of ABC Home Care, that might be it for you for the next 20, 30 years on your resume. That's what you do, and that's all you're going to do. But if you're a marketer, you might have worked at ABC Assisted Living Facility, and now you're a marketer for ABC Home Care. You need to update that LinkedIn profile because now you are the face of ABC Home Care, and you need to make sure that's what your LinkedIn profile says. That's how it's branded. It looks good for you individually to make sure that you are properly representing the company that you currently work for. Absolutely, 100% you should do that. If you were to go on LinkedIn and look at my profile or Annette's or Lisa's or any of us that work at ASM, you're going to see that we all have a banner behind our head. Mine is goofy, so don't look at mine. But look at Annette's, look at Lisa's. We all have a similar branding behind our head. We are all representing our business. So LinkedIn is about professional to professional networking. Facebook is about your community relationships. And that can be partly being out there as your business. So you're making comments as ABC Home Care. And part of that can be just you personally being out there answering people's questions as the owner or the marketer of ABC Home Care. So Facebook is community, LinkedIn is professional. Okay. I know that in the last social media and internet changes all the time. And I know that for a long time, we would teach our clients that how many followers you have on Facebook matters a lot. And I'm going to tell you today that it does not matter. You can have 1 million followers. If you are not making good content that is interesting, shareable, or something that people want to read or learn more about, then it doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers. No one's going to interact with that content. It does not matter what all the platforms are looking for now. And this came about as TikTok has gotten popular. It's all about the commenting, the shares, the reaction, and the discussion. So how many followers you have on your Facebook business page is not as important anymore as the interactions and engagement you're getting on your posts. So commenting is number 1, sharing is number 2, reactions is number 3, and community discussion is number 4. So just keep that in mind. You should not worry about having 1,000 Facebook followers on your business page. What you should worry about is are people interacting? And if they're not, then we need to change something. So the goal is not posting either. This is the other thing. The goal is interaction and familiarity. So posting is a mechanism, but really what you're trying to do, so you can post every day, 2 times a day, 1 time a day, and the volume of posting is not what matters at all. If you post 2 times a week and you get some great engagement on those 2 posts, that's what matters. You do not need to post 5 days a week. It just does not make a difference anymore about how much you post. The volume of posting on Facebook does not have to be every day. It is really about having great content. We're going to talk about what that is. All right, here are some content pillars. So here are the things that build trust and make people want to engage. Number one is community connection. Posts that root your agency in the local area, events, partnerships, neighborhood recognition. So Annette and Lisa spend a lot of time teaching sales training and teaching sales reps how to be out in the community, going to those events and making sure that they're face to face with people in their community that might give them referrals. The second part of that's harder for everybody to get their handle on is that you need to post that stuff to the internet. So if you attend a senior fair, let's say you have a booth there and maybe 500 seniors come through or families come through that fair, that health fair, whatever it is, that is like not even a 1,000th% of the number of people that are in your community. So what if 500 people came through that event? It's great if you got their email address and their names and things like that's wonderful. But if that's all that ever knew, those are the only people that ever knew you were there, and it doesn't make a bit of difference, then or you're not getting any leads out of it. It doesn't really make the event successful. But if you take that information and those pictures and all take pictures of other people's booths, take pictures of you with some of the other vendors that were there, or you with the event organizer, or maybe you speaking on a stage for senior safety in the home, or whatever it is you're doing. Those kinds of items need to be posted to Facebook, LinkedIn, and you need to tag the people who are in those pictures with you or who helped organize that event. That is community connection. And that is how you show people, you know what? We were there. We loved it. We care about you too. And we wanted to give a shout out to you, letting you know we appreciate that you held this event or whatever, those kinds of things. That's community connection. Education is the next pillar. And that's giving people tips and guidance so that we can teach people or give them all the tips on how to care for their aging parent at home. But 9 times out of 10, at some point, they're going to be like, I can't do this anymore. And you know that they're either going to engage in home care or they're going to place them somewhere. So education is amazing. And if they start relying on you for some great tips, maybe it's something that you wouldn't even think of. A tip about, this is one of the blog posts that gets the most attention for our clients. I don't know why, but it is soft foods that are great for the elderly who have swallowing problems. Soft foods, recipes for soft meals that are good, that they like, and it's not just pudding and jello. So soft foods that are great for seniors with swallowing problems. People look that up all the time. And the reason I tell you that is because I can see the Google Analytics and I can see that every time we post that on a blog, it gets dozens and dozens of clicks because for some reason that's a big deal to people. So how about some helpful tips? Is March Nutrition Month? I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
So for the month, we're in the month of March. How about 3 tips or 5 tips for people who have swallowing issues, or a great recipe? Post a recipe. All you have to do is Google it or ask AI, and it'll give you a recipe for a really good meal that's helpful for people with swallowing issues. I'm just using that as one example. It could be safety in the home. You have to make sure everything's lit up so people aren't falling, pull up all the throw rugs. You know what the tips are to keep seniors safe in the home, safe from falling. So it's helpful safety tips are great, but give them something that really makes a difference to them and something that they haven't heard 50 times. Think about it from that perspective. Post those on Facebook, but also post those on your blog, because your blog also should have that kind of content on it. And the last pillar we have are human stories. Really,
Hey, Amber, hold.
can you guys mute whoever that is? Human stories, real stories about caregivers, clients, and your team that build emotional connection and trust. I'm not recommending that you just go take pictures of your clients. That's obviously, sometimes that's not a great idea. You definitely need a photography release if you're going to do that. But if you have a caregiver who is caregiver of the month, and maybe that caregiver has gone above and beyond, and without telling any names, you can tell a short story about how they helped a senior they were caring for. something that they didn't have to do, but they did it anyway. Maybe they got to their house, even though there was 2 feet of snow on the ground. Maybe it was about helping them make sure that they got all their Christmas presents wrapped this year or whatever it is. You can tell those stories, not just to each other in the office, but tell those stories on Facebook. You don't even have to use real pictures or pictures of the real people. You can just use a stock photo instead. You don't have to identify everybody if they don't want to be identified. But telling that story helps other people in your community know that your caregivers really do care. They really are compassionate and they really do love the job that they're tasked with doing. They love it or they wouldn't be doing it. So tell those stories about your team, your caregivers, and that will help immensely. When you're reaching out on Facebook to the adult child of the aging parent and showing them how you can help their life be better, how you can help them be a daughter or a son again, as opposed to a constant caregiver, that really resonates with folks. So the more you show your face on Facebook, and the more you reach out to your community with helpful information and real stories, the more people are going to turn to you when they're ready for help. So we've already talked a lot about this. I'm not going to go through this whole slide, but community connection also includes local senior resources. You'd be surprised at how many people don't know about the Area Agency on Aging or other programs. Some of them might even be ones that you just learned about, some kind of senior transportation program that your town or your city has that is really low cost, like $3 or something. Those are things that you should post. Any community event. If you know a senior fair is coming up, don't just be the person who goes to the senior fair. Promote it on your Facebook page. If you guys have a booth there or you're a sponsor, talk about it. Talk about when you're going to be there and how you look forward to seeing everyone. Really talk about those community events. And even if you're not going to be there, it's still worth your time to post about those local health fair and senior fairs so that people turn to you for all of those community events. And then partnerships and recognition. The more you tag ABC Assisted Living in your posts and talk about how wonderful they are, the more they will in turn talk about you. And they will appreciate the fact that you gave them a shout out by giving you a shout out. Educational posts, we've already talked about this. Caregiving advice, fall prevention, dementia education, aging in place. If you don't have a specific tip, you can borrow one from Teepa Snow and you can post one of her videos with a little recommendation to watch. If someone's dealing with a parent who has dementia, there's a whole set of videos that Teepa Snow has on YouTube that are free that people can watch, and on TikTok and probably many other places. Be the resource that points people in the right direction. Human story posts. I really like the caregiver spotlights. I really like it when you all do caregiver of the month, employee of the month, or caregiver spotlight. You introduce them, you talk about them, what makes them exceptional, because this isn't just important to the caregiver, but when your community sees how much you care about your caregivers, they believe that you are a good choice when it comes to home care because you not only treat your clients right, but you treat your caregivers right. Family success stories, of course, with permission, and team culture and acts of kindness. So anybody on your team who goes above and beyond, fills in a shift where they didn't have to, whatever it is, be sure to talk about it. It's so easy to get into the humdrum of the week. And I do this all the time. And people need to be given kudos. So luckily, Lisa and Annette are really good at giving kudos to other people. I just go with the flow. And I know everybody on our team is amazing, but I don't say it every day. And you should say something about someone a couple of times a week, anybody on your team. And that makes everybody feel good. Examples of high performing posts are 5 signs a parent may need help at home. That's always a good one. These are just examples. You can come up with your own. Any caregiver appreciation, local senior resources roundup, and client success stories. We have a client that on his own decided he is the owner of his home care agency. I don't know if he's here. Is Dale York here? Probably not, but he's usually in the car making the rounds. Dale he goes around to all of these independent and assisted living, and he's always involved in community events. So every week, I believe it's once a week, it might be more than that, he goes on LinkedIn with a video and talks about all the upcoming community events that he's going to be at and welcomes people to also attend, welcomes his colleagues, his competition, everybody in town. Please be sure to know that ABC Assisted Living is having a luau and we're all invited, and they're going to have a snow cone truck. So come out and enjoy it. It's free for anyone who wants to attend. It's a great way to network. He tells everyone in his circle on LinkedIn, and he tags the people that are sponsoring that luau. You should do that too. And it doesn't have to be in a video, although video is the way to go. But he just gets on, he records it, he edits it, and he puts it on LinkedIn. So if you look at Dale York, he's the owner of Cardinal Home Care, and you go on LinkedIn and look at what he does. That is a great opportunity for you.
It is. He's actually in an in-service right now. I talked to him this morning.
Okay. Okay, local Facebook groups, your hidden gold mine. All right, every town has a Facebook group. A lot of neighborhoods have. We've talked about this. A lot of neighborhoods have Facebook groups. There are also dementia Facebook groups, and some of them are for the adult child. Most of them are for the adult child. Some of them are regional, some of them are national. You can always start your own local one. The Alzheimer's Association probably has some Facebook groups where people talk about their experience with their loved one and Alzheimer's disease. There is nothing that says you can't start your own Facebook group. But here's the thing. If you're going to start one, you can invite people to it, but you have to remain engaged and you have to pay attention to it. So if you don't have the time to engage or hire someone or assign someone to be accountable for being helpful and knowledgeable and answer questions in that group, don't do it. So if you want to start a Facebook group, anybody can do it. You might start out with 10 people in the group, but it is on you to make sure you're constantly posting in there some tips, some hints, and eventually those conversations will start. People will post their entire story. So if it's I'm going to make up a Trenton, New Jersey, make up a town here, Trenton, New Jersey Alzheimer's Facebook group for adult children of aging parents who are dealing with Alzheimer's disease. That is a great group to start. You don't want to sell yourself. You can put that you're a sponsor of that group in the header image, but you don't want to constantly say, oh, they probably need home care. Give us a call. Just be helpful. Just post your tips. Post some of the same things that you would post on your normal Facebook page. Give them some ideas, some help, some resources. Not everyone in there is going to be able to afford private pay home care. You might give them some Medicaid resources. So there's lots of things you can do with Facebook groups. It takes a while to get those up and running. And if you don't want to start your own, look for groups that are in your local area, neighborhoods, churches, seniors, caregiver communities. There are probably several. So look for those. And then just be a helpful participant, not a salesperson.
Valerie, I just wanted to add, look in your area. There's a local social work group in my town, and there's 2,000 social workers, and they let home care agency members join. And that's a really active Facebook group that I'm in. They're always looking for help for certain clients. So if you have a Google social work in your local area, and sometimes they have Facebook groups, thought I'd add that.
Yeah, that is a great one. For some reason, I'm not in Houston, but I am in a Houston area group like that. I have no relationship to Houston. But anyway, I'm in it for some reason. It's probably something about a client many years ago or something. And I see that people are looking for professional to professional. These folks are looking for help placing someone, getting home care for someone. Does anybody take this insurance? Does anybody take Medicaid? Does anybody have ability to take a client over in so-and-so area? Because we just can't reach out that far. And those groups do work. So look around for local professional groups on Facebook that might be helpful. So we're not going to talk about all this. All right, 15-minute daily outreach habit. All right, so everybody's saying, I can't spend hours doing this. I got too much to do. You don't have to spend hours doing it. 15 minutes a day seem like you're on there all the time to other people. People are going to be on Facebook after work, at lunch, on Saturdays and Sundays when they have a few minutes, they might be on. So if you can read some posts, respond to them, support some people professionally or just human to human support, give them a thumbs up, give them you're doing great. I know it takes time, whatever you need to say. Those are the things that matter. 15 minutes a day really can transform your agency's visibility and reputation. So please take the time to do it. Schedule an appointment with yourself to look at Facebook. I know it's a rabbit hole too. I could get lost in looking at people's weird stuff on Facebook. Okay, organic versus paid reach. You need both. I don't necessarily think you need both, but it doesn't hurt. Something I tell everyone in home care is that Google paid advertising is where you will generate leads, although it's expensive and you have to put up with a lot of stuff. And then Facebook is not where I would say, hey, guess what? Put an ad on Facebook and you're going to get a bunch of leads. No, that's not what I would say at all. What I would say is that you have to organically, just like we've been talking about, make sure you're on Facebook, building trust with people by being a real human being and commenting. Paid advertising on Facebook should be something that makes people want to request something from you. Questions you should ask a home care agency before you hire them. That kind of a guide, something like that. There's a million different things you could put there. And when they request that guide, they have to enter in their name and their email address and their phone number. And you have an option then. You can either call them or you can just use that to build your newsletter list. So if it were me, I would run an ad within I'd say 15 to 20 mile radius of my office because I know I can service all those areas. And I would offer a free guide. That guide would, of course, be branded to me. I would put up a Facebook ad and I would collect as many email addresses and phone numbers and names as I could possibly collect. I would definitely set up an automation to not only give them the guide once they fill out the form, but also to put them on my newsletter list, to follow up with them with an email campaign that just asks, are you doing okay? Is there anything we can do for you? Who we are, what we do, we can answer your questions. And I would let that run for as long as I could. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on that. If your $300 a month is $10 a day, if you wanted to do something like that in a pretty wide radius, that would work. If you only want to do a short distance from your office, and you could probably spend $150 a month, $5 a day, and build your newsletter list that way. I'm not saying that any of those will turn into leads. That is not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that you are being discovered, you are being noticed, you are being mentioned, you are in people's inbox now. You are there, and they will see your newsletter every single month. They will see the follow-up emails that you're sending. And if everything is automated, then you don't have to worry about it. And maybe a year from now, 6 months from now, a week from now, they'll be calling your office because you are top of mind. And they won't even remember how they heard about you at that point. When organic content works best, are powerful when with humanity and community value, not a sales message. So we've talked about this. Caregiver stories, community events, educational tips, team culture. Keep it helpful and educational.
My arm or along the side of my neck.
Can you guys mute whoever that is for me?
Yep, I just did.
Okay, thanks. Let's see here. Let me just move some. When paid advertising works best. Yeah, if you're going to do paid advertising, it really is about a lead magnet, which is a guide, usually guides and resources. Caregiver recruiting, we have a lot of success on Facebook. Not every community has that same experience, but we do have a lot of home care agencies that come to us for recruiting. And we do use, besides Indeed, we do use Facebook ads in a very targeted area, usually the area where they're needing help. We target that area. And so we do a lot of caregiver recruiting through Facebook ads, and that does work extremely well. And then, of course, community awareness, just getting your logo and your name out there. Your brand is everything. So if you're an independent home care agency and you don't have the luxury of having the same logo as a national brand, you need to make sure that your name, your company name and logo is recognizable, identifiable, and everywhere people look. You want to make sure your brand has legs and it is moving around town. And I used to love it when people would say, "Oh my gosh, I see you everywhere." They don't say that about me as much anymore, but I was very diligent about being everywhere on the internet. And people would be like, "Oh my gosh, I've heard your name. I followed you for years. I la, 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 la." Now I'm not as interested in being that person, but it does work really well. So get out there and make sure people know your brand and the face behind that brand. I have to lead magnet ideas that convert. We're still talking about that. Guide to dementia care, guide to the cost of care, hospital to home, guide to home care. These are some of the guides you know what? If you go to ChatGPT, love it or hate it, it works nicely. Ask it, tell it who you are, what you do, what company you own, and ask for 10 titles of amazing guides that you could give to an adult child of an aging parent. And it'll come up with some fabulous guides for you. Guide to the cost of care is really nice. And if you haven't thought about that, you probably should. One of the things that we know from AI search is that the top 2 questions that people ask across the board, across the country, it doesn't matter where you are, is how much does home care cost? And does Medicare pay for home care? Those are the top 2. If you can answer that question on your website or in a guide and really do a good job of answering that, not just because that's what you say the rate is, but because that's what Genworth's annual study says, and you can write up something really nice, then you should do that, because those are the 2 most frequently asked questions. And the answer to does Medicare cover home care used to be a simple no. Now it is not a simple no. It is pretty much no. But if you're in the guide program as a home care agency, you know that there may be some hours available through Medicare. If there's some HMOs, that Medicare HMOs that also allow for some short-term home care with aides and stuff. Answer those questions honestly. And we put this right on our clients' websites now. Do we tell everyone what the exact rate is? No, because you shouldn't have the same rate for every client. Why? Because if one person's care is really intense and the other one is just basically giving them a ride to the grocery, those are 2 different costs. So we give ranges of costs. The cost of home care could be anywhere from $25 an hour to $55 an hour. And it really depends on a lot of things. So these guides are really helpful for them, and they will get you to show up in AI search if you have them on your website somewhere. What salespeople and outreach coordinators should post? Community visits, educational tips, and local events. Your person out in the field should understand the importance of Facebook. And if they don't want to, or you don't want them to post directly to your business page, then they should hand in to you whatever pictures they've taken that week and what that was about. Or if you're a client of ours, send it directly to support and we will do amazing things with your content. Your person out in the field should also be held accountable for making sure that you have married up that online and that in-person marketing. Go to Facebook Live. What was I going to show everybody on Facebook Live? Do we remember? Annette or?
I don't remember.
Okay, so let's go to.
Or how to invite them to like your page, or?
Yeah, I think so. So let's do this. Okay, we're going to use our page as an example. So I'm logged in as me on Facebook. Let me make this bigger for everybody. But I am going to go to Approve Senior Network, and I'm going to switch. You see how it asked me to switch now? So I'm going to switch now. And switching into my page. So now everything I do is going to be on my page. I am posting as my page. So let's take a look at some of the things we posted recently. So this is our latest post. It's the Invisible Home Care Agency website AI audit. So if you feel like your home care, so you can see that we did a video. Video is super important. You guys should be doing video. I took what I did was I took about 10 or 15 minutes and I asked AI to come up with some really good, and I've worked with AI all day, so I asked it to come up with some really good things that a home care agency owner might be having trouble with or whatever. And then it came up with a little script and I looked at it, edited it, and I just pumped out a few videos. So if you keep going down here, you can see here's one from the other day. Most location pages on your home care website are ignored by AI, and here's why. You can read the article, you can watch the video, you can read the post, wherever you want to do. So video is really important. If I wanted to tag somebody in a post, and a lot of people ask about that, let's just say we wrote a post about how much we enjoyed the local senior fair, then I'm just going to do and I'm going to hit Dawn Fiala. I'm going to tag her. So Dawn Fiala, I'm tagging her because she was the organizer of that health fair, senior fair, whatever it was. And I'm going to thank her. And then I'm going to put a couple of pictures up of what we did at the senior fair. And so that's how I tag someone. You type in the @ sign I just typed in the @ sign, and then I can tag other businesses and I can tag other people. So that's how you do that. And the same rule applies when you're on LinkedIn. All you have to do is type in the @ sign and start typing their name, and it should appear for you if you're friends with them. If you're not friends with them, it might be a little more challenging, but most of the time, it's really easy to write a thank you note, tag the person, and put up a picture, and you're done. But we do have some let's show off a client that's really good at this. So we're going to go to Amonicare, and we're going to take a look at, what is this? Oh, Angels Care Home Health Standout. I don't know what that is on their website. Do we know what that is? Or on their Facebook page? So here is the resource fair. Join us at the Lincoln Community Resource Fair, March 26, 5:30 to 7:30. All they had to do was grab this information, throw it into ChatGPT, get a really nice description of the senior fair, and then post about it. And then if we keep going down, they also do Medicaid. So thousands of Nebraskans are providing unpaid care. Many qualify for compensation through Medicaid. And they talk about the family caregiving programs through Medicaid in the state of Nebraska. And if we keep going down, they ask you to vote for them. Best home health category for Lincoln. They want you to vote for them. So we made this little video for them and put the phone number in there. Lincoln families and caregivers looking for resources and support. Join us at the Community Resource Fair. There it is again. So you can see that they really take the time to make sure everybody knows what they're doing, where they're at, where they're going to be. And then they also honor their office staff, care, compliance, and billing team. So these people you may never see, but they want to make sure they're giving them a shout out too. This group just does a fabulous job of getting the word out about everything. And they do this on LinkedIn too. Then here we have a fall prevention video. And then here is a great story, resonates with the adult child. I worry every time she gets behind the wheel. The hardest conversations are often the most important. Medicare certified care in the comfort of home. This must be their sister company or someone they refer to. Your digital life is part of your legacy, so they talk about that. And here's the latest from Lincoln, raising awareness about problem gambling in Nebraska. That's an interesting one. A lot of seniors have that problem. So there they are, and they took pictures and posted it. So all of this is on LinkedIn as well. They just do a great job. I highly recommend that you do the same thing that Amonicare is doing, the same thing. There's several other clients out there. If you're on Facebook and you see a home care agency that's a competitor of yours doing a bang up job, they're actually doing the right thing. You should do exactly what they're doing. Reach out, get involved, make sure that you're posting all this stuff. All right, I'm going to go back to my presentation. Uh-oh. No. All right, human content always wins. And that's the truth. We can post all day long about come to us. That looks bad right there. We can post all day long about what you do, what services you offer, but your content always wins 100% of the time. Stuff with your face in it, your marketer's face, that's what people want to see. Posting frequency, 3 to 5 times per week, take 15 minutes a day, and give yourself a goal. Start now and see consistent engagement of others within about 90 days. So say, here, we're going to start this. We're going to do this. We're going to hold ourselves accountable for posting something every day. We're going to take 15 minutes. We're going to answer people's questions. We also started a thing where we do Ask the Expert, and we do a video about the question, and our home care agency owners are the ones that are telling the answer. They may not be in the video, but their voice is telling the answer to the frequently asked question. And that's really nice too. Weekly posting examples. So this is going to be in the PowerPoint. It'll be available to you to download as a PDF. Monday, do an educational post. Wednesday, do a caregiver spotlight. Friday, do a community highlight. All the things that you've done over the course of the week or what's coming up next week. And then measure what matters. And that's comments, shares, direct messages, and Facebook referrals. Start keeping track of that. The long game, familiarity before the crisis. So they were already following us for 2 years when her dad had a stroke. She called us first before she even searched online. That's your goal. It's not getting a lead tomorrow. It's making sure everyone in town knows your name. You're all over Facebook all the time. And when their dad has a stroke, you're going to be the one that they call. All right. That's me. Any questions that I can answer? I know everybody's just going to go straight to Facebook right now.
That's such good information, though. It's stuff that I know I talk all the time with folks.
It does. In those neighborhood groups, and they work, see it all the time. My mom needs this, so very important. Just going to talk about the sales training real quick. We're running late on time, and then Lisa could review some of the leave behinds. For those of you that don't know, we have a sales training class that we do. It's 12 weeks. I see a lot of the class training members here. We have the availability in our April and May classes. So please, if you want any more information, put your name in the chat or give us a call. We are having a lot of success. By week 6, if you do what we say, you are getting referrals. So, please let us know if you're interested. And also for the leave behinds, for those of you that popped in a little late, we will be giving away 1 free set of the May leave behinds. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Topic.
Get on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, get on Facebook. Bye, everybody.
Bye.